frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilization, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Landing Party. I'm Graham Nolan, and this is the show that goes through every Star Trek episode in the order they were filmed and not in the order that they were aired. And in so doing, we find out a lot of neat little stuff and firsts. So let's get started with the Captain's Log, Stardate 2408.28, The Return of the Archons, written by Boris Sobelman from a Gene Roddenberry outline. In fact, this is one of the outlines that was first submitted to Desilu when they were going to try and get the show on NBC, and they chose the Cage in its place. But so this one goes way back. When Spock says, "All is indeed peace and tranquility, the peace of a factory, the tranquility of the machine, all parts working in unison. The entire society is a machine's idea of perfection, peace, and harmony." And Kirk replies, "And no soul." Return of the Archons is the first episode in the series to offer a direct indictment of communism, the other two being A Private Little War and Omega Glory. But unlike those, this one is a little less heavy-handed. They speak of the body and the greater good, and those that don't conform are either absorbed into compliance or killed. One of the scariest lines for me in this episode is when Landru tells the landing party towards the end that everyone they had contact with on the planet would be destroyed so that the memory of their infection will be wiped away. That was really frightening that this computer was just willing to, do that. For me, Return of the Archons really resonates in today's world more so than many other episodes because we currently live in a world of groupthink and hive minds. If you rebel against it, then you are not of the body. Take a look at how COVID was handled and the lies that were told to keep you in compliance. If you were not absorbed, you had your rights and freedoms taken away. This episode is one of Roddenberry's top 10, and for good reason. It's creepy, there's a mystery, it's got action, and it uses his Gulliver's Travels template to disguise its hidden political agenda. This is also an episode of firsts. This is the first time we see Scotty commanding the bridge of the Enterprise. And thanks to a script polish by Gene L. Kuhn, who is now, at this point, the producer of the show, it's the first mention of the prime directive of non-interference. This is also the first time we see Kirk outwit a machine with logic or illogic. It'll happen again. The thing about firsts is that sometimes they become tropes, and that's one of the ones that becomes a trope in Star Trek. And this one is really interesting. For the first time, we learn that Spock sleeps with his eyes open, which is kind of creepy. That was Leonard Nimoy's idea, and I thought that was really cool. This is also the first guest appearance of Charles Macaulay. We mentioned him last week that he was in the Blackula films, or the first Blackula film. And he plays Landru, and he would appear again as Jarvis in The Wolf in the Fold. So that is the captain's log for today. Let's bring in some of the landing crew that are here. Not of the body, Aaron Lepresti.
I am not of the body, Graham, in any way,
I
shape, or
know
form.
that about you. You are not a conformist. You'll
I
not be told what to do.
That's right. I'm glad you brought this up though in the captain's log, because I was wondering as I watched this episode, is this the first episode where Kirk outsmarted a computer? And you confirmed that it in fact was, because I kind of thought it was. I was like, I'm trying to think, did we watch one where because he does it a lot as we go through the series. He can beat chess at he can beat Spock at chess, and he can outsmart any computer.
That's right. You know, the funny takeaways this is that this computer, I think they said, is 3,000 years old. You know,
Right.
when Landru died, not one update, not one. Didn't need one update in 3,000 years. And my
Actually,
computer,
it was
I have
6,000
it
years.
might have been 6,000 years.
Yeah.
My computer's got to get updated every other month.
I know. It's like, how did this not break down? I mean, talk about advancements in technology.
Boy,
Wow.
oh boy, whoever Landru was, I want him. You know, I want to buy my next computer from him.
Exactly.
And Anna, that Star Trek girl, is here. Hello, Anna.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome. So yeah,
When was the
I thought
last
that was
time?
funny.
When was the last time you had your computer fixed, Anna?
I had to do it this week. My drivers were outdated.
There you go.
What do you have, a Mac or a PC?
Now I have like a Frankenstein gaming PC.
Oh, well, you should have bought a Landru 5000.
A Landry 5,000. They last
Yeah.
for 6,000
They
years,
last for 6,000 years
Yeah.
and don't need an update.
and they'll kill your enemies. So it takes care of a lot of services for you.
I think Landru probably evolved from Cyberdyne. You know.
Well, I was wondering if maybe the Forbin project might be involved in this somehow, because those computers took over the
That one
world,
too.
and who's going to repair them? They repair themselves, right? I mean, they're self-sustaining at some point. You got to be careful. That AI is coming
That's
to get you, Anna. Coming to get you.
I love this episode. This when I watched it again today, I liked it even more because I could see the parallels of what's going on today. You know, there's also then over reliance on technology and computers in general, which was something
And
that
young people being crazy.
yeah. And they give them one day. They give them 12 hours to raise hell and
Rape and pillage.
rape and pillage. And I thought it was kind of interesting how they showed that the red what was it? Not the red hour. It was
Red hour. Yeah, it was a red hour.
Yeah, but it was 12 hours.
Right, but they called it was festival, but the
Starts
red
at
hour, I guess. What was that?
What's that, Anna?
It starts at the red hour, which is
Oh,
6.
okay. I guess
Right,
that's
yeah, it
what it was.
starts at the
Yeah, that's
red
right.
hour,
It's festival. It's festival. You know, the censors were over at NBC were very nervous about what they saw in the script. You know, the guy's daughter, you know, technically getting raped and chasing women around. You know, the script even mentioned, you know, a half-dressed woman getting chased by some guy, and they wrote back, you know, just make sure that you know, it doesn't cause too much embarrassment, or what was the other word? He didn't say piss him off, but you know, but basically that's what he's saying. But Pevney came up with a really cool idea, you know, doing the shadows on the wall.
Right.
I
Yeah.
thought that was dramatic and cool. You know, like you could see the guy holding the woman and her hair, you know, she's arched back and everything. And it got the message across that this debauchery was happening without actually having to show anything.
Yeah, it was almost Orson Welles like in that one scene with the shadow up against the wall and everything.
Yeah.
You know, here's one thing I kind of wondered about. I'm not necessarily saying it's a flaw in the episode, but when the daughter came back, right, she was crying and sobbing because basically of what went on. But when the red hour struck, she just like took her hair down and just, you know, let's get after it. And so I'm wondering, was for her to feel remorse afterwards, or that somehow she had been violated or whatever, wouldn't that require her to not be part of the body to feel like that?
It's a good question. I'm assuming that Landru is controlling them for that too. You know, the
For the festival.
yeah,
But
like,
then they come back to Earth and they're kind of like, what did I just? But see, a lot of the other people didn't react that way. I just thought it was interesting. I wonder. I
yeah,
kind of felt like it was put in there for dramatic effect for that one scene, so the guy could go, "You're supposed to be your father," you know. And
right.
but anyway, I mean, that's just a neither here nor there. Anna,
Yeah.
now think about it, Anna. When you partied hard, did you ever have regret? Did you come back crying after a night of partying?
Not really.
She's got no regrets.
I'm not exactly the biggest partier, but I'm a very happy drunk person. So I think the only regrets is one time I broke my shoes. And that was really sad because they were expensive and cute.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. The whole shoe situation. It's very different. Women in shoes, man. It's just something else. It's like purses. Well,
No,
you need your heels because of your
Really?
height, being height challenged. So I can see how that would really be kind of piss you off if you.
You're like Shatner, you got the lifts.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
do.
They're important.
But it's more socially acceptable for me to have those.
That is true.
Yes.
Yeah, it's much preferable.
I always thought, like, when she was all having her little freak out, that because she's brainwashed and it's that whole you're brainwashed, but you still have your inner, I guess, conscience. And so, like, even Landru couldn't control that because it's like the whole machine versus human.
And since the father was not
immune
of the body, in fact, the hidden guy, the third wheel, who was part of the resistance, he even mentions that guy can't
be absorbed. He's immune to absorption.
He's immune to absorption. So I wonder if the daughter is immune too, and that she
was playing along,
or what,
Yeah. That, there's some, there's some good possible answers there to my question. So I won't mark it off as a negative to the episode, but I
could be a hole in the plot.
A hole in the plot.
Yeah,
so maybe it's,
it could very well be that they had to crank these things out. This you would think when you watch it, this would not be an expensive episode.
No, they're using a back lot.
Right? But it was one of the more expensive episodes because it had the most extras that they had to hire.
Oh, yeah, I can see
and
that.
They also had to outfit them. So that meant costumes and makeup and all of that stuff. And then dressing the sets. There was so much expense in there. It went way, way over budget.
These poor guys, they just could not stay on budget, could they? They got ahead, and then 5 weeks, then 3 weeks later, they're in the hole again.
Yeah, and even reused. They split up the original pilot into two.
That's where they got ahead, right? But now they're all behind again.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a lot of shows that have shitty budgets that nobody talks about, nobody remembers.
Well, let me ask you something here, Graham. You've done a deep dive into this, obviously. So I'm going to assume by the time they got to the end of season 1, they were way over budget. I'm going to assume that.
Yeah, I would assume that. Yeah.
So but then they get greenlit for a second season. Do they eat that? Does it roll over to the next year and go, you guys? I mean, I
don't know. I mean, I'm supposing that as I do my reference, as we get through, this is my Bible here.
Ooh, hardcover.
There's 3 of these. One for each season. So I get a lot of my information from there, and I'm sure they'll go into that, the whole budget and all of that. Then I cross-reference it with other sources, but.
Well, I assume the budgets have to be factored into how much commercial revenue they expect to make off the episode and how much, right? So you've got all your salaries, what your budget is, bring this episode in for X amount of dollars because we assume we're going to make this much on ad revenue and, we need to make a profit or blah, 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 right? So that makes me wonder if they went into the second season going, okay, how big is that bug you're going?
It's a mosquito, but So the mosquitoes are attracted to the blue lights, and so somebody sent me an electric
Oh, yeah.
light bar.
Oh, nice.
And right now is right when they come out. Because one
Ah.
time I got back from like camping and I was sitting doing a live stream and I just got swarmed and you could just see the wealth on the on the camera.
Oh,
And so I have one of those like bug lights above me, but that attracts praying mantises. So I got swarmed by praying mantises. So now this is the
How'd they
best
get
solution.
in?
yeah. How did they get you? You leaving the door open or something?
I leave the door open so my dog can come in and see me.
Okay. And you're
And
like,
then also, well,
you're
there's no AC or heater in here, so I leave the door cracked with the fan, so that way the air
Oh,
comes.
so,
So this is my solution.
okay. So you're like in a shed, right? I mean,
Yeah,
but you're not attached to the house. You're in a separate little.
I'm attached to the back of the house. So whoever had this house before, it was like they were building on an office/gym. So it's like it's like they were trying to build on. So it's just a concrete slab with walls.
Mhm.
And no insulation or anything, so I had to put up all of the drywall and do all.
Look at you, Handy Anna. We'll call you.
Well, I mean, he helped me, so it's not like I did everything.
Peaches.
the Peaches Project.
Yeah.
The Star Trek episode, the Peaches Project.
Yep.
I like your shirt.
Oh, thanks.
Achtung.
Yeah, they're saying that's a
Achtung, baby.
Nazi shirt.
No,
Achtung.
it's Checkpoint Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
I
you.
went through there when it was still up in 1979
Oh,
Really?
I went
into
there
East
in
Berlin.
2019.
I went when you weren't even born.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point in 1979, Berlin sat in the middle of East Germany, and you had to travel by bus or car across a road that was mined on either side. So if you ever got off the road, it would blow up. Then you'd have to hit these checkpoints, and if you didn't hit them by a certain time, they sent people out after you. And once you hit the checkpoint, they'd get on your bus and you have your submachine guns. They check your passports and stuff, and then you go on. And then you go into West Berlin, and then all of a sudden you're back in Europe again. You know, but it's really an island. It was an island in the middle of East Germany, and it was divided. You had West Berlin and East Berlin, and you could go over to West Berlin through. You could take a subway to Friedhofstrasse and come up in no man's land, or you could go through Checkpoint Charlie and actually go into East Germany and see it, and spend money, which is what they wanted you to do.
Yeah.
And when I went in there, you know, it was like stepping through a time machine. It's like you see people wearing clothes with no patterns and no writing on it, you know. Like over on the other side, you see people with Adidas shirts or, you know, logo shirts, that kind of stuff. Over there was none of that. It was 1945. There was 50 caliber shells, holes in the buildings, rubble still there. And this woman comes up to me, and she was like in her 40s at the time. So she was a young girl in her teens during World War II. And she might have been in her 50s, so she might have been in her 20s during the war. She comes up to me and she's like got the babushka thing going on and all that. She starts asking me, you know, where I was from. And at the time I could understand fluent German. I couldn't speak it fluently. So I knew what she said, and I tried to express to her, yeah, I'm from America, that kind of thing. And her eyes just welled up, and she was like, oh, America, you know, she wishes she could get out of there. And I'm hoping she eventually got out when the wall came down, you know, about, 10 years later, 89, something like that.
Yeah. I never really thought about this, but now that you're telling that story, I was like, how did they decide who got to go to West Berlin and who had to stay?
They literally just made a wall down the middle of the street.
If you lived on the east side, you were screwed, basically.
Yeah. There's one part where they have it's where it's still there, but then the other part where you can go into the east and there's just the pillars of the walls, and they have posters, and it's like they literally built it up to your house, and so people were jumping out of like the second and third story windows to escape.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know.
I ate at a restaurant there, and I had a steak, and I'm sure it was horse meat, but it tasted terrible. But the knives weren't made out of steel; they were made out of aluminum, and they had like a serrated edge to them, and I palmed it out of the restaurant. I got it back through Checkpoint Charlie because it had DDR stamped on it. I thought, what a great souvenir. And I was young guy, really stupid because I could have gotten in a lot of trouble, but I ended up getting that back to the States.
Oh, do you still have it?
I still have it. It doesn't have the DDR on it anymore. That got scrubbed off, but I still have the knife.
That's crazy.
I just got this t-shirt. That's about it.
I just got this t-shirt.
Yeah.
So really what you could say is the west side of Berlin was not of the body.
That is true.
Yeah.
And
they were an infection.
The east side had been absorbed.
Yes, absolutely.
By the commies.
That's right.
So
really, you got Shatner on one side and Sulu on the other.
Right.
Sulu at the beginning of this episode got absorbed.
Germany and the gay Germany.
Right. Well, Sulu got absorbed at the beginning of this episode, and he has since that time been absorbed by the neocons, or not the
I don't think he ever escaped Landrew.
He may never have escaped Landrew. Yeah. That's right. That episode, he just got it.
He was always that guy. When Scotty says, and Sulu's back at it, and he walks up and he goes, "I'm here to relieve you." He gets all chummy with the guy.
So, Graham, what does this shirt say? I just got it because it was the only one that said West Berlin on it.
It says attention. Sie verlassen jetzt. I'm not sure. As I said, it's been a lot of years since.
I was going to say Google it, Anna. Get that.
I thought that you would know since you knew what the shirt was.
Well, it's got the red lines on it. It's very, I think they used to. I think I remember that sign hanging on the gate. Like that they put down. Like when you go through Checkpoint Charlie, there was a gate. Crossing gate. Yeah, there's a crossing gate, but then there was also a maze of fencing that you had to walk through. And then there was a guard station that you would walk into, and you'd have to show your passport and all that kind of stuff. And that was U.S. soldiers and stuff manning that stuff. And then you'd kind of like walk through this other fencing area and get through the wall and get to the other side.
It means notice you are now leaving West Berlin.
You're now leaving what? West Germany?
West Berlin.
Oh, West Berlin, yeah.
Leaving West Berlin.
Oh, believe me, you'll know when you left it.
The impression just lifts off you when you leave East Berlin. When you leave West
Berlin.
You and
I had very different experiences. It's like just swarms of Turkish people when I was there.
Oh, there was a lot of Turks there too in the 70s. I think just prior to that, like maybe mid or early 70s, there was a large migration of Turks into Germany, and the Germans weren't too happy about it. They were sort of like
they're still not happy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's sort of like I don't know if they were illegal or illegal, but I guess the metaphor would be similar to the illegals coming across our borders, but I don't know that they were illegal. They may have been. I met a Turkish guy at the rail station who was selling like pretzels or food or something like that. He was a younger guy, he was probably in his 20s, and I was in my teens. Nice guy. He was a wrestler, and I was a wrestler, so we were talking about wrestling and all that kind of stuff. And he was a cool dude.
So you're saying all Turks aren't bad, Graham? Is that what you're saying?
That's right. I am saying that for all the world to hear.
They're bad at making Mexican food, though.
Really bad at making Mexican food.
Yeah. Well, the Mexicans can't make Turkish food either. So,
So just getting back to the episode.
That's your job on this show. You are the wrangler. You have to
wrangle this back in.
Yeah.
I found this kind of interesting that Sulu got a spotlight in this, because it didn't happen very often for the poor guy, but every once in a while he got like a couple moments. And this was one of them. And I was wondering, did he have any, I guess, the naked time? he went running around with his sword, right? So he had
Yeah.
kind of a Sulu moment there.
Yep.
But this was like, I mean, we opened the episode with him and the other guy on this planet kind of wondering what's going on. And I thought, wow.
It's also the only episode that the teaser ends on Sulu. You know, that opening teaser, you know, it's a close up of his face as, you know, he's saying Landru or something like that. So that's the only time he got that kind of spotlight. But he had a prominent role in
Oh, that's right. He was frozen on the planet with
yeah. I'm
you
drawing a
know,
blank on the episode.
what was it called? Turnabout.
Enemy Within. Enemy
I almost said Turnabout Intruder.
No, that's the very last episode.
I know. Oh God, that's another one I won't be well, actually, I might watch it for laughs when we actually get to that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Bad one.
What a terrible way to end such a wonderful show.
I know. It's like, let's think of the worst episode possible, and that'll be our last
And
episode.
we'll end on that. Yeah.
Maybe they were hopeful that it would get the 5 seasons, like they said.
Did they actually? Was there ever a chance that could have got? I mean, because they were canceling it after the second season, right? And then the letter writing campaign brought it back. Were they actually during the first season? Were they? I mean, was it like a goal to get the 5 seasons? Because that was like, you know, the 5-year mission. Was that kind of or was that just kind of BS? And they just, well, hey, if we get one season of this, we'll be happy.
Well, I think they wanted typically for syndication, you needed 100 episodes. And Star Trek only had 79. So the goal for any show is to get at least 100 episodes.
It would have been 4 seasons then, basically.
Yeah, because at that time, you know, I think it was 26 episodes a year. Is what now most TV shows don't come near that because this, you know, it takes longer to film and they put more money into it and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Huh. Well, they managed to do okay in syndication anyway, despite that fact.
Oh man, I mean, syndication is what, you know, created the monster that is Star Trek.
Yeah. So Graham, we were talking about this earlier before we went on about like there's a lot of favorite moments in this episode, and a lot of them are kind of funny. What was one of the ones that you had brought up? I can't even remember now. I know which one I was for me, but what were you like? There was like moments that they were in this film that or lines or something where you're just like,
was it when Spock punches the guy?
Oh yeah, and then Kirk. Yeah, well, tell that again.
Yeah. When the guards are coming in, they're in the castle, and Spock punches the guy. And then Kirk says, isn't that a little old fashioned? You know,
oh, you're getting spammed, dude.
What is DDoS?
I don't know.
Oh.
Do you have mods in the chat?
Do we have any mods in this chat yet?
What is DDoS?
Yeah.
They found you. It's Landru.
It's Landru. Oh, yeah. It's like a whole bunch of different names.
Distributed denial of service is what DDoS stands for.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Huh. Are any of my mods in here? If you guys wouldn't mind. Yeah, Marcus Kelliger's here. He's a mod.
Time these guys out, dude.
Send them to the cornfield, Marcus.
You can do it.
You have the power, dude.
So what we were talking also about, my favorite part, I don't know my favorite laugh part. This is when McCoy is absorbed and turn on members chat only, says,
or subscriber chat only. That'll help make like it so they have to be subscribed for 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Where do I do that on the
you need to go into your creator studio.
Okay, I'm in there.
Okay, so when you see the live stream popped up and it'll like just be your page, there'll be the little circle with like the 3 lines around it. Click that one.
Oh yeah, I see it.
And I can log into one of my, so I can walk you through it.
Participants, moderation, activity, timestamps, reaction, pop out chat, send feedback.
No, okay. I'll just open up my YouTube studio and show you.
Okay.
Or you can mod me and I'll shut them down.
Okay.
That could be faster.
Okay, I just typed in, "Hey Graham."
Yeah, there you go.
So turn me into a mod and let me shut these bastards down.
What a random thing to get spammed by right now.
No, we're just talking Star Trek here, and this hasn't happened to me like in ages.
Of course, it happens when we're talking about the computer taking over everyone, though.
Right, exactly.
There you go.
They're hate from Twitter. It says it's on YouTube, not Twitter.
Okay, so where is my wrench? Why is this not responding? And we bring the show to a screeching halt. All right, hang on. Where am I? Okay, I've got a wrench now, so I should be able to. Oh, do I have to go to YouTube? Don't I?
Yeah, go to YouTube and time them out.
Yep. All right.
Well, somebody's on it because I just see message deleted.
You should probably turn it on.
It's Marcus Killigrew.
Okay, here we go. God, these things are coming in so fast. I can't stop them. It's like a video game.
Yeah, how could they do that? Is it like some
It's a
kind
bot.
It's a bot?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oh, here, I'll walk you through it right now. If you want to,
Okay.
this will solve your problem for a while.
Great.
You have to do this individually for each live stream. So open up your thing, go to live, and then click on whatever live stream you're on. Go to the details,
Right.
customization,
Hold
participant modes, subscribers.
on. Hold on. Where's customization? Oh, okay.
Right here, under details, and then participant modes, go to subscribers and make sure they're subscribed for at least 5 minutes. And then once you do that, you just save it, and then it'll fix that.
You're going too fast for a boomer. I can't even find the damn subscriber mode.
I'm blocking them as fast as I can, Captain.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull this into another window so I can keep you open. Okay.
If you want, I can share your screen. I can find it for you.
Okay.
But it should be right under details. It's customization.
I just blocked a ton of these guys. And they're still coming.
Oh, yeah, so go to stream settings. So you're in the different place.
Oh, stream settings. Got it.
Oh no. Okay. Never mind. Go to edit up in the corner.
Up here?
No, other side. Down.
Is this like the Omega Glory? We
Where it says, right, click
bases
edit.
and they still
Okay,
keep coming.
customization.
Got it.
Subscribers right there. There you go. Now save. There you go. That should solve it for a while. And you might just get spammed with some new subscribers if they want to continue spamming you. But now you can take it off. That should solve your problem for now.
Okay. Much appreciated.
No problem.
We emptied
Man, crazy. I've never had that happen.
Yeah.
We emptied 5 phasers, Graham, and still they kept coming.
You pissed
Mega
off
Glory.
Landrew.
Yeah, well, as
So
Dress says, I angered the commies.
Oh, you
as I
did.
was-
Yeah.
as I
Thank
was-
you, Marcus. Good job, bud.
Yep. And so as I was saying, when McCoy gets absorbed, much like the bots just did, and he comes in and he's like, and he realizes they're not of the body, he just loses it. And he's like going, "You're not of the body." And Kirk's like, "Peace and tranquility." "No, you're not of the body." And they get in this kind of choking match. And then Kirk knocks his arms up like this and he collapses. He doesn't even get a chance to punch him. And McCoy just goes, "Ugh." I thought, why don't they use that more often? Just the boom like that. That's
I think I figured out what happened.
okay.
Ron came in.
Ron did it.
That was all Ron.
He says he's so tech savvy. I know he had some little bot going. Are you of the body, Ron?
That's why I'm late. I was of the body.
Nice. And you had peace and tranquility
Afterwards.
As usually, right after.
and a cigarette.
Amazing how that happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have no interest of being of the body anymore. You just want a roast beef sandwich.
Nice.
Oh.
Just make me a sandwich. I don't care about the body part.
So, what did you think about this episode? Do you like this one, Ron?
Yeah, I actually always did.
Yeah.
The whole cult, it's a great statement on cults, basically.
Yeah.
And how mindless they become, and they repeat all the same things, and and you can see that in cults all around the world. And so yeah, I did like it for that reason. I liked the ending, where the computer, and actually Kirk exercises the computer, and he does the same thing that he does to M5. It's like, pretty much. So
And Nomad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and Nomad.
And
Yeah. This is the first time.
And every
it happened.
computer.
yeah.
Yeah, what is it with Kirk and outwitting all these machines? Using reverse psychology, you'd think he'd be able to make short work of Spock mentally.
Exactly.
Well, Spock has part human, so that's why it doesn't work on him.
Ah, there you go. See, he's got an answer for you.
Did you notice that one of the guards, the guys with the big hoods, was Sid Haig?
I did not notice that.
Yeah, I noticed it for the first time today. I'm like, his face was turned kind of sideways, and the light was going in there. I'm like, holy shit, that's Sid Haig.
My next question is, who the fuck is Sid Haig?
He's a character actor. He was in a lot of horror movies in the 70s. He was in Spider Baby with Lon Chaney Jr.
How did you pick up that was him?
Because I know what he looks like. I've seen him in other things.
He showed like the nose and mouth for the most part, right?
Yeah, but there was one shot where he was kind of turning and the light was going in there. He had a very unique face. He's sort of like has pock marks on his cheeks.
Okay, I bet you I know him if I saw him.
I know you know him. He played a judge in something.
Was he in Blackula? Everybody else was in Blackula.
He was in Diamonds Are Forever. He's one of the guys that picks up Bond at the airport in Vegas.
Look at Anna munching away on some feeding.
Ryan Cognito says that he was in Bone Tomahawk. I don't remember him in that, but it's been a while since I've seen that.
That movie was sick.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my god!
Holy shit!
People have told me not. I was going to watch it. Like, don't. You'll be sorry.
The thing is, I didn't know anything about it, so I just
me neither.
What's this about? And then when I start watching, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It starts off as a traditional Western. Oh, the woman's kidnapped. We're going to get a posse together where, there's these troglodytes, kind of a form of Indians living in the caves. They're a little freaky, but we'll take care of them because we're cowboys. And then
it becomes a horror movie.
It gets real. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it gets real.
You're like, what?
I got the picture of Sid Haig.
I mean,
let's see Sid.
Mm.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh yeah.
I guess he was a Romulan too.
Oh, I remember him as a
That's
Romulan.
not him. That's
No.
not him.
He was in another episode.
Yeah. Well, there he is.
Yeah,
Look, you can get him signed. You can get him to sign the poster.
Can you
Wait
click?
a minute. Was
He died like a year or two ago.
Did he play the guy on the Game Strips Trixcallion?
No.
Let's see.
No, that's a different guy.
That's a different guy, but he does look like him.
Yeah. Look at that. Creepy. Yeah, I know that guy's face. I've seen him before.
Been in a million things. Just low budget films.
What was 999,500 that he was in?
Huh?
You said he was in a million things.
Okay, well, name the
Oh.
999,000.
Oh,
I mean, at some
literally.
At like 762,431, you're kind of like, oh my God, I'm so sick of doing this.
Well, at that point, he started to hack. He just all his characters had the same motivations.
Yeah, it was just, oh, it's Sid Haig again. Yeah, here we go.
Oh my God.
For the 800,000.
I thought he retired at 746.
Oh, he kept going for another 300,000 more. Oh my gosh.
They
Okay.
dread. Yeah, go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But be warned. It's
Yeah.
gonna,
That guy. It's.
and Kurt Russell's in it, for Christ's sake.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's got a great cast.
I'm a huge
I
Kurt
would-
Russell fan.
I would love to see what his face was like when he read the script.
Well, the guy who did that also did Dragged Across Concrete and Brawl in Cell Block 99. Have you seen any of those two movies?
No.
Oh
Sid Haig in him?
no, but
Okay.
they are brutal films. Dragged Across Concrete has Mel Gibson in it and Vince Vaughn, and they're great.
I did see that. I
Did
saw
you see that?
Yeah. And they were against the guys in the van.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Good, actually. And I didn't like the way it ended. I won't give it away, but only because I became very attached to the character that Mel Gibson played.
Yes. Yes.
So I didn't. Well, I just
Oh, so spoiler, he dies.
I didn't say that.
Well,
He might
something
get
happens to him.
He might get
All
better.
right, I'll tell you. All right, I'll just tell you the ending. He gets a baseball bat shoved way up his ass.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That broke your heart.
Yeah.
That would break my heart. I don't want to
Wait,
see
did it break your heart because he liked it, or just that it
It
happened?
break your
No,
heart.
because it was Ron's baseball bat.
Aw.
I'm never going to use that again.
Man, I'm speaking.
Oh.
Yeah.
That wouldn't break your heart, Anna, if it, you saw
I've
that.
seen some pretty fucked up stuff, so no.
Yeah,
Oh.
in your
Wow.
day.
Yeah, I lived in San Francisco for a long time, so it takes a lot to shock me.
Mhm.
that
would
does
do it
not
to me.
happen. If you are in the chat and you're wondering, that does not happen.
Oh. Ron had me going there. He reeled me in again. Like,
Aw.
how do you put that in a movie? Is it like Tarantino or something?
And Vince Vaughn is also in Brawl in Cell Block 99. It's another really just.
I just watched that last night. He's
Did
got
you really?
a cross on the back of his head. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another brutal one.
Yeah.
But
Prison
I like
Break
to
is
hear
not high on my list.
He gave himself up though, and then he got the 7 years, and I don't know why they gave. It was just a dick judge
Yeah.
because he only wanted the 4 years so he could come out and see his kid, and he told his girlfriend that.
Yeah. His attorney told him that, and then the guy was just, yeah, he just kept getting screwed 3 Ways to Sunday as that movie progressed, and everything got worse and worse. And this guy does not write happy tales. I can tell you this much. But they are interesting. The characters are interesting.
Yeah, they are. Even when he goes into the prison, and they make him go back to the back of the line.
Yeah.
People go to the back of the line. It was all interesting stuff.
Yeah, this hits it on the head. Very nihilistic films. Yep.
Have you guys seen Long Legs yet?
No.
No,
I want to see that one. You seem to have seen all the movies.
Only the
I
ones with
catch them
Sid
after
Haig.
they start streaming. I rarely go to the theaters anymore
Mhm.
because I got a 75-inch TV.
That's all.
Ah! I know. I should have gone bigger.
I have the 85.
Mother.
Ooh, look at you.
What happened though is I was going for the 75, and then when they delivered it, there was a big crack right through the front.
Oh.
So obviously I brought it back, and I was going to give up the deal, and they're like, no. Let me make a few phone calls. So they happen to have a brand new 85-inch up in Glastonbury, and they shipped it down right away, and they gave it to me for half price.
Well,
Nice.
Nice.
Yep. and they're more expensive when they get that big. So I got a really sweet deal on it.
That's good. What brand?
So Samsung,
Samsung. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
and it's got everything in it. You know, it's a smart TV too.
Yep. 4K.
It's
Oh.
awesome. It's
Oh.
really. I mean, it's like, you know, we have our. I bought the theater seats for the basement and everything. The kids love it.
Oh yeah. How far back are you sitting from it? Would you say?
About 10 inches.
Perfect.
It's like surround. So
At the end of everything, our eyes are like lemurs rolling.
Yeah. Like front row seating. Yeah. First thing I did was measure the distance to see, because there's a measurement that you can do, and it depending on the size of the screen is how far you should be back to really enjoy it for the best picture.
Yeah, well, it's as far back as the lolly columns in the basement will allow, you know. I mean, and then there's a couch on the other side because it's a finish. I finished the whole thing off.
Okay.
And I have these, you know, these beautiful white columns wrapped around the lolly columns. So they're right against that, but they recline in such a way that they actually don't touch. So I actually sleep down there every night, pretty much, because it's so comfortable and it's cool down there.
Right. Illy New Dungeoneer says, I got a 75-inch in my home theater and I sit back about 8 feet or so. That sounds about right. 8 to 12 feet.
Yeah, that's about.
Yeah, 8 to 12 feet for a 75er is what the measurement says.
You know, when I went and saw the greatest Star Trek film, I'm sure Graham will agree with me, Star Trek 2. I took my mother to go see it, and when we got to the theater, it was sold out except for the very front row. So the first time I saw Star Trek 2, we were sitting in the front row, and you're sitting like this. And this was back when screens were twice as big as they are now. I mean, they were just humongous screens. And I was like, I had to watch it on TV to go, oh my gosh, I never saw that the first time, because you're just like overwhelmed with this gigantic screen. But yeah, those were the good old days, man. When you used to go to the theater and the screen was like really big and part of the experience.
Right. Yep.
I think the last movie I went to go see on the screen was Godzilla -1.
Really?
Yeah.
That might be the last one I saw too. Oh no, I take it back. The last one I actually went to the theater to see was Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. What a horrible film that is. But don't get me started on that, Graham. We need to. If only Ed Hag or
that's a lot. Graham was that one. Were they having a showing or something?
Yeah, it was like we have this local theater here that's kind of cool. It's really old theater, but they will have like midnight movies and like movies that play on the weekend or Friday nights, and generally they're like old horror films or old sci-fi films, you know, like Road Warrior or and even back I saw a couple of Hitchcock films there, Rear Window and Dial M for Murder.
Where do you live again?
Out a suburb of Portland, Oregon.
Oh, okay, you poor bastard.
I know. I know.
Yeah. Well, we all four of us live in sort of communist havens. You know,
Yeah.
I'm in New York. She's in California. He's in Oregon, and you're in Connecticut. I mean,
yeah, Connecticut overall, it's all, you know, but the town I'm in isn't.
Right.
That's great because it's like you're in your own little enclave where, you know, and the next town over is the opposite. It's weird.
Right. You're in an oasis.
New Haven just ran an article in the New Haven Register about how they wanted to apologize. What was it? I have to look it up, but it was. Hold on, give me a second. It's so ridiculous.
Clearly part of the body. That's the problem. You guys are not of the body, so therefore.
I always thought Landrew kind of looked like Andrew Jackson.
He did. He did have the Andrew Jackson thing going on, didn't he?
You know, he's got that whole hair thing. You know, you put him in a like a military outfit, and all of a sudden he's Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, he's a versatile actor. That guy. I mean, you know.
New Haven, the city considers apologizing for voting against the first black college in 1831.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
I apologize for something in 1831.
Are there any former students that can come to this apology?
I don't. What is it? The world's on fire. These people worry about
Well,
this.
it's like my
Yeah.
state paying reparations for slavery, and there was never any slaves in California.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
give me a
I read
break.
about that.
Unreal.
Oh man, definitely of the body.
Yeah.
Landrew Jackson. Well said.
He does kind of look like that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I
He was
wonder if they did that on purpose.
His head looks like an inverted anvil or something.
That actor never looks the same in any two roles I ever see him in. He's like a complete chameleon, you know.
Oh well, he was a prefect and in Wolf in the Fold.
Well, it's weird. They change. Like, they have an ability to change. Like, I don't know, with the camera.
Yeah. I guess if you have like certain features, it makes it easy, you know.
No big hair, no hair. You know that can go a long way too.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever seen those like Asian makeup tutorials and how they can completely change themselves?
No.
No.
Oh my god, here I'll play one for you.
All
It's
right.
crazy.
You know, speaking of makeup, I like to plug this whenever I can. If you guys are not following Rick Baker on Instagram, you should be.
I follow him.
He was awesome, man.
He
Yeah.
posts the coolest stuff, man.
He's still making stuff for his
I know.
own amusement, you
I
know.
know. It's like
Oh, yeah, there's a sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say there's so many guys now on Instagram and everything who do these little stop motion animation shorts and stuff. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Did you see the
Doug Mankey's animations?
Yeah, he does some great.
Mankey
Oh,
does some really great animations. It's really
Oh, really?
cool.
I'm going to check that out, Mankey, huh? Okay.
They're always like, they're like really raging. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I like how he did the Bane's bench press competition or something.
Yeah,
one time. Yeah, he's got Bane, you know, lifting like 12 plates, you know. All the veins popping out. It was really cool.
I got to check that out. Did you see?
But not the
Here,
same
here,
veins you drew on him, Ron.
what's that?
Not the same veins you drew on Bane.
Yeah, that was a classic. I remember I was there for that. Wow.
Yeah, you were.
What happens?
I have this book called The Book of Bane, and I get artists to do a Bane drawing in it. And Ron did a Bane drawing that is legendary.
Emphasizing perhaps the
Why?
wrong muscle, shall we say?
Oh.
It's Bane like.
Dude, when I was drawing, I was in tears laughing. So,
Oh yeah. It's like Bane off the juice. He's all skinny, and his leather is hanging off of him and stuff. And he's got his wiener out.
Oh
And
no.
and there's flies flying around it. And my God.
It was
Lovely.
classic. Classic in a very sort of
I was
odd
drawing
way.
the same shit. I wanted it to look different than everyone else.
Well, it sure did. Oh God, that was something.
I would have loved to have been sitting next to Neil. I gave the book to Neil Adams to do a sketch, and I would have loved to have been there when because he went through it.
Well, the funny part is, that's the fun part, is like everybody you gave that book to after, you don't have to say anything, but you know they're going to run across them.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I have a friend who he used to do these he's so fucking funny. When you meet him, you wouldn't think so. He's the most mild man. Hey, he's, nice guy and this and that, but he would draw the most fucked up drawings, like little cartoons. He's not an artist, but he would draw cartoons anyway.
Yeah.
So one time he took this kid Ted's notebook from college, and Ted didn't know about it, and he drew a picture of a guy jerking off, and he was shooting out. The sperm was turning into little army soldiers that would land on the floor, and then with little bayonets, and they would march across the page, so the 2 pages. It was so freaking funny. So I didn't know it was in there. And then he was really hot on this girl. And so he told her he would lend her his notebook for this class.
Oh, no.
And she gave it back to him the next day, wouldn't speak to him.
Oh, my gosh. That's hysterical.
It was so.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
All right.
Anna. Oh my gosh.
Okay, but
Hell,
what she looked like?
I thought it was Jim Lee.
It may still be.
Just
Yeah.
wait until the end of what she looks like.
Kidding, Jim.
No.
Yep. And then they
Well,
take it off.
Yeah, it's not even just her. If you look, you see.
No, this is a compilation of like the craziest ones, how they
Oh.
look.
God, that's
Well,
insane.
how
They
do you
just com-
fix those teeth?
Some of them wear the fake teeth to make it look more dramatic.
Yeah, those aren't real teeth.
I like the teeth; those are hot.
But
Yes,
see-
now they're gone. Now the teeth are gone.
But see, it's magic what they can do.
Yeah, I've seen this. There's this one girl who does these weird facial expressions to music and stuff. Who is Asian, does her face all up like that, and she looks like a living like porcelain Asian doll or something. He's really.
I saw this white trash chick do something like this. She didn't. She was like missing teeth and crap. She
Oh,
put in
the one that lost all of her teeth in the baby.
Yeah, then she heads out on the town and she looks like pretty hot, and you're like, oh my gosh, you get that girl home and you're gonna just have a nightmare.
Yeah, just the amount of
Take my
makeup.
teeth out. You're like, what?
Yeah, that's not a sentence you ever want to hear.
Look, it's Star Wars.
What?
I said,
Oh,
look,
the
Star Wars girl.
Asian version.
Just kidding. That doesn't look anything like her. Oh my god, that looks like the woman from.
She's got fake teeth and look at her mouth.
Oh yeah,
Remember Kung Fu Hustle?
yeah.
She
Look
looks
at, now the teeth aren't protruding. You know, like you can't put
Oh, she
makeup
took
on
them
your
out.
teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look, what is that?
Some of these girls look like fake dolls. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. That freaks me out as bad as.
Looks like E.T. as an Asian chick or something.
Yeah, Star Trek is more real than this.
But see, makeup can really make a difference.
Oh, no doubt it can. You know, but
Sure does. It's all fake.
the whole world is fake. It's all AI.
You ever hear about the guy? You ever see the article about the guy who married this woman and then he divorced her and sued her because?
His kids are ugly.
Well, no. Well, yeah, that was part of it. But she had a rhinoplasty, and she didn't tell him. But her nose was like really hooked and long, I guess. So the kids were born, and they, and then came out that she never told him.
Oh, when she met him, she had already had it done.
She had it
Mhm.
done, so he didn't know. She didn't, she
And
had
so
this
these kids get born with these beads.
genetic deformity she had. So
Whoa.
Oh man. Did they grant the divorce?
yeah, I don't. It was a while ago, like 10 years ago.
Yeah, that doesn't help the kids, though.
Yeah.
No, I don't think the kids are suffering from it. I think he just divorced her and sued her.
Made her
False
pay
advertising.
for the rhinoplasty for the kids.
Yeah, you know how much I have to pay to have those kids' noses fixed, and I didn't even know it.
Well, all she's got to say to him is like, "Well, tell your genes to work harder next time."
Yeah.
Oh, right. You know what I was in the middle of saying when we got started the spam thing was the line that Shatner says there was when he says, "Isn't that a little old fashioned?" When Spock punches him, that wasn't in the script. He completely ad-libbed that. They kept it in. That was kind of cool.
Which part was that? When he punches and he says that's old fashioned.
Yeah, when they're waiting, they're hiding and waiting for the guards to come in, and then Spock actually punches a guy, knocks
Right.
him out.
Which I thought was a really odd choice for them to do that. That's why I thought the line was legit, because it was like, why wouldn't they just have him do the neck pinch thing? Because he
Right.
does it like later in the scene, just like on the one, the one informant dude that chickened out there. He had to, give him the nerve pinch. It's like,
Right.
I just thought it was a really interesting choice to have him punch the guy, but it worked out really well because that line works great that Kirk had there.
Yeah, and Sid Haig in an interview said that at the time they were making this, most of the cast members were trying to quit smoking, and so they were chewing gum, And so the director had to make sure that they spit their gum out before they went out and shot their scenes because it was causing problems. And so Shatner went out and bought bubble gum for everybody, and they all were chewing it. And then when without the director knowing it, and at one point when the director said roll, they all blew a big fat bubble. And Sid Haig said that the director almost went apoplectic.
Well, now we know why the budgets were over. That gum wasn't cheap, and then you got to like retake stuff that you shouldn't have because Shatner's pulling pranks. I tell you.
All right, let's give this our official ratings. Aaron?
Boy, this is a tough one because it's got so many good lines, and I do like the whole sort of anti-communist message, and Kirk outsmarts the computer. And before I rate it, did you notice that Kirk was actually sort of annoyed at these guys because they were such wimps? And at the end, when he walks away, he goes, "You better get rid of those robes and get a real job." That's something like to that effect when he's walking by him and he's time to get rid of those robes and get a real job.
Yeah. I think he was pissed at their spinelessness.
Yeah, I mean, you could really see it in his character. I thought it was good. So,
they say to one of them, "Are you a man or a?"
Yeah,
start like men. Start acting like men.
Yeah, start acting like men.
I would get him canceled on Twitter today.
Oh yeah,
yeah, really,
man. What do you mean by that?
Start acting like the pronoun of your choice.
I'm going to give this. I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8. I like this episode.
Solid.
Anna?
Probably a 6.5.
Rating.
6.5. Okay.
Oh, I've seen this way too many times now, so it's one of those that it's kind of puts me to sleep. At least it did today, but I was extra tired today, so.
Well, you have an excuse.
Yeah.
Okay, Ron.
I'm gonna go with a 7, I think, because only reason I really like the episode, but I guess the whole Kirk beating the computer thing annoys me because it was used so much.
But this is the first time.
Yeah, but this is the first time.
It's the first time. I know.
Yeah.
No, I guess
you got to give that part a pass.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, give it a 7.5. Then
7.5. Okay.
I do like the call aspect. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say before today, I've given it an 8. Today, I'm giving it an 8.5 because you weren't here for the captain's log. But what really fascinated me is how this really translates to today. The hive mentality, the group think, the technology taking over. All of those things are really forward in our lives right now, and particularly the socialism aspect of it. That Landru, this computer, is imposing on the people. So for that, I'm giving it a 0.5 point more, and I'm going with an 8.5.
And you're right. It's not even like you can say there's shades of it. It's literally what's happened. I mean, people are literally, their brains have been washed clean of logic and any critical thinking in lieu of media talking points, like crazy.
Well, I started it with what Spock says, and he says when they're talking about the peace and tranquility, and he says, all is indeed peace and tranquility, the peace of a factory, the tranquility of the machine, all parts working in unison. The entire society is a machine's idea of perfection, peace and harmony. And Kirk says, and no soul.
Right.
That's communism.
That's that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, you got to watch this debate on this guy Maz or something. I think his name is. He's a communist against this guy Andrew Wilson. It's a really good debate.
Well,
anyway, I was going to say it's like ant colonies, for instance. They all work. Isn't it amazing to watch them and how they're all in unison with everything they do, all because of a pheromone? or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and they are all programmed, and they know right from the time they're hatched to exactly what they're doing. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of what it's like. It's like, you know, and I've always thought of, you know, this particular country. Well, it's like taking an ant, like to make the individuals, like taking an ant and saying, you're no longer part of the colony. You're free to be whatever you want. You can be whatever you want to be. What would that ant do? It would put leaves on its back and weird things attached to it and just walk around in circles trying to figure out what it is. And I feel like that's kind of where things have sort of gone in a way. So I can see both sides where you need some sort of unity in a country where everybody's kind of on the same page for the most part for it to thrive.
Sure, for the mutual good, you know.
Yeah,
there's certain things, that connect you together. You know, your country, your faith, these things that connect us, your neighborhoods. All those things are important to connect you together, but not at the expense of one's individuality.
Exactly, that's exactly right, and I think that's what's happened.
Well, Ron, without creativity, the body dies.
Thank you.
You need to understand that.
Appreciate it. I knew I was going to learn something new today since every day.
Well, you learned who Sid Haig is too, so
Yeah, that's true. Two things.
Exactly.
you get to walk away with a few things.
Right, my head is growing as we speak.
Like an Outer Limits episode.
Yeah, he's starting to look like David McCallum.
Yeah, right.
Poor guy lost his wife to
Charles Bronson.
Charles Bronson, yeah.
It's funny how murderous he became so quickly. Once he got that smart, he just didn't care. It's kind of like Dr. Manhattan in a way.
Mm.
Well, yeah, when you become so far superior to the people around you, it's like they become meaningless to you. At least if you're writing the character correctly, that's what would happen, you know? Like, these people are ants beneath me. Why should I care about their insignificant problems?
But I do care about them.
Would you, Ron, if you had that kind of power?
I've saved ants on many occasions.
He let the uncles die.
Not me, man. I got out the can of raid.
I freaked out Mike Manley one time because we were at a convention somewhere and we're walking across a thing and there was a worm on a piece of tar. I'm trying to make its way, so I picked the worm up and I brought it over to some soil. And he's like, I can't believe you just did that. You picked up a worm and you saved a damn worm.
Well, someone's going to need it for fishing at some point.
I was going to say, I'd put it on a hook.
Yeah.
I could have eaten it.
Well, that may be a legal requirement here before long.
Yeah, if Bill Gates gets his way, you will be eating it.
Lunatic. How these
I had a ribeye tonight, so I don't care about worms.
I had steak and eggs. I went to the diner and had steak and eggs.
Nice.
I haven't had steak in like 6 months. So frustrating.
Why?
He doesn't like it.
You get
the baby.
Doesn't
The
sit.
baby.
Oh.
It makes
he
it
gives
taste
you
weird.
karate kicks every time you eat steak.
It tastes weird. It doesn't taste the same.
If you listen to her stomach, you'd hear.
Just chicken. That's it. That's all I can eat.
You know.
I hope he doesn't become a vegan.
How about fish?
I don't eat fish to begin with, so. And I don't eat vegetables either, so I don't think there's any risk of him becoming a vegan.
Okay.
Are you allergic to fish or something? Or
No, I don't like. I've tried it before. I just don't like it.
Like,
and I don't like the
fish.
smell.
Have you tried halibut? Halibut's actually very mild.
I don't eat. If it swims, I don't eat it.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of it for the most part, but I eat it for health reasons sometimes.
How about shellfish? Would you eat that, like shrimp or clam?
I eat all the
Those
time.
are bugs that just live in the ocean, man.
Yeah, they're delicious bugs. Though.
Mussels.
Yeah, big, beefy, juicy bugs. Yeah.
You know what? Bill Gates is going to tell you the same thing about worms in the future.
Well, maybe.
Oysters on the half shell gives you a lot of zinc, and you know what that does.
Oh yeah, I love fresh oysters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little sauce or a little hot sauce on there, and boom.
Gives you some nice wood.
Norwegian wood.
Mhm.
Norwegian clam.
Isn't that a Beatles song?
Yeah, it's
Norwegian Wood. Yeah.
Norwegian Wood. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think next week Aaron's going to have a Trekgasm because we're doing Space Seed.
Oh, yay.
Yay, best one.
I know.
With Khan Noonien Singh.
I'm gonna give my 10 right now.
Excellent, Captain. Excellent.
Yeah.
Your first officer interrogates.
Well, I can't give it a 10 because I can give it a 10. It's just the scene where they're fighting in the engineering section is so clearly stuntmen at that moment.
Yeah,
it's jarring.
yeah.
It's like, well, that's not Kirk.
And Kirk
Even
did
if
a
not
whole
for the
bunch
special
of
effects, they would have tried to make it look more like them.
I wonder why that was, because like Shatner did a lot of his own stunts, you know, when the whole Kirk Fu thing, you know, where he bounces off the wall, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make sense
That's it.
Yeah.
how they they're cutting back and forth, and it didn't seem to be any reason to have to do that.
Yeah. But we'll get into that next week. Maybe I'll have some information about why they had to do that.
Maybe.
He didn't want to get beat up by Ricardo Montalban.
I remember that in the briefing room, how Montalban was just so naturally regal sitting there and masculine, you know, and you can see Shatner like stretching his neck up. Like,
well, Montalban wasn't that tall either.
Yeah.
But he was manly.
He's not bigger, though. I mean, you could see he was, he had a chest out there. He was a body at one point, I think.
Yeah, he was a boxer too, I think.
Yeah.
I think he fought for a little bit, you know. When you see him back in the 50s, you know, he had a nice taper, you know.
Oh, yeah, those suits, and he would, he filled them out.
Fantasy Island.
Yeah. He was still, hey, everybody claims, including him, that chest in Star Trek II was real. It was his.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't a prosthetic. That was his chest.
Yeah, that's what he's, I've always thought it was, and he said it was, so I'm not going to mess with him.
I mean, it's got that episode definitely.
Well, what's sad is he's like 100 and he's in better shape than all the young guys.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, like in the movie?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
There's a whole lot I could go on about that.
They didn't use MacGyver's, and I know that she was killed, obviously, by the sand thing. But was she still alive when that movie came out?
The actress?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It would have been cool to see her in it.
It would have. I don't.
It would have.
I don't know if she would have looked as good though. All right, let's see.
It would have.
Well played. Well played. Well played, Trelane.
Time to come in, Trelane.
Yeah, you're done playing with your toys. They are.
If you can't treat your pets,
they are superior.
That's right.
Never let me have any fun.
Oh my God, get this. And I guess in one of the new Star Treks, they retconned it. So you know how she got killed by the bug?
Yeah.
And he was all mad at her? Apparently they retconned it so she committed suicide.
In what?
Because she couldn't handle his manliness, so she killed herself?
Because she felt so guilty or something. It's in a comic book.
For betraying the ship.
Oh, it's in a comic book? Oh.
Yeah, so they retconned it. So stupid. But
you know what? I'm suspect. Why would they do that?
Right, exactly.
Why would they need to redeem her character that way?
Why would they even care enough to redeem her character?
Yeah, why would they care to redeem?
Because they can't have a girl going with the bad guy.
Exactly.
Exactly. You know.
Even though that's all the people want nowadays, they want the.
Well, they can't admit to that though.
Women are perfect. White men are flawed. That's how it is.
She died in 2003.
Oh, so she was alive.
It's amazing that they would try to rewrite even a fictional history the way they do in real life. Even it's like it's maddening. Like,
yeah. Well, I guess if you think of it that way, why wouldn't they rewrite it?
You getting bit by mosquitoes right now?
Yeah.
Close the door, girl. Jeez.
It's already in here.
Well, get some off on you.
Put a fan on next to you.
I have a fan next to me. I've been distracted.
boy.
So I haven't been able to
Where's your
see it.
badminton thing? Yeah, take them out, man.
You know what you need, Anna, is a cigar.
I can't have that when I'm pregnant.
Oh, that yeah.
Well, then you're gonna get bit. All I'm gonna
I know.
You get bitten in the chest, so it looks like you have 8 nipples.
Oh, that would not be fun.
Then you'd be a Star Trek character or something.
Oh, yay. Well, no, I have this perfume, which I discovered is mosquito repellent. I just, I didn't put any on today.
Oh,
Yeah,
You're
you
gonna leave the door
don't
open.
want to when you're pregnant either, right? Because that stuff gets absorbed. I mean,
What?
I'd be suspect of putting any chemicals.
oh yeah.
I mean, I wear perfume sometimes, but it's better than having like off on
Yeah,
you.
but perfume is a lot of
Definitely.
made out of natural.
I won't put that shit on.
Did you see what Billy Tucci said in the chat?
No,
Oh my God.
He's in there. Oh yeah, there he is.
What's up, Billy?
Debbie smoked 100 cigars when she was pregnant. You'll do fine. Was it Debbie or you?
that would be like, let's see, 9 months, so that would be 10 a month, at least. Over 10 a month.
There's a great Carson where he's got George Burns on. George Burns is 93 years old, and he's on stage, and he's talking to Carson. He's got this big old stogie, and he's smoking it. And Carson says to him, he says, George, how many cigars do you typically smoke a day? He goes, well, this one's my 11th. I typically smoke 15 to 20 a day. And Carson starts laughing. He goes, well, doesn't your doctor? And he goes, my doctor's dead.
He was a non-smoker.
Yeah. And Burns lived to 99 years old.
Oh, you guys want to see why she wasn't in Wrath of Khan?
Uh-oh.
Why?
Here we go. Well, she did gain a significant amount of weight, but she also must have had an accident.
Oh,
Oh, geez. Look at
actually
that.
looks pretty good there.
Look at MacGyver. Look at the size of MacGyver's mouth, man. Khan must have been packing some heat.
Oh my God.
Disavow. Dude, he's a genetic Superman.
He is.
Clearly.
He
You do
is.
the
You
math.
knew it too.
But all right, I'm not going to say it because
Go on, say it.
no, we got to save it for next week. We got to save
Yeah,
it for
really.
next
I mean, we're talking about the show that we're going to be talking about next
Remember
week.
next week. You probably forget.
No, I won't forget.
Oh, come on. The suspense is killing me now.
Well,
You gonna
will
make us
survive.
wait?
Yep.
Captain Dunsel strikes again. Damn you, Dunsel.
Oh man.
You know, the unfortunate thing about that was the guy that played the Commodore or whatever, that called him Captain Dunsel. He was a security guard in the Devil in the
Devil
Dark.
in the
And now
Dark, yeah.
suddenly he's a Commodore and telling Kirk what to
Yeah,
do.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh man. He climbed the ladder fast.
Hey, Billy, next time just join in on the chat. I mean, join in on the program.
He'd actually have to watch Star
Yeah,
Trek.
Billy would
be
have
on
to
the show.
watch a Star Trek
He,
episode.
doesn't- he just likes watching us, huh?
Yeah,
He's a voyeur.
he's not a Star Trek guy.
Billy, this is for you, baby.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
Look at those abs, Bill.
Oh.
I can't time out Ron. Well, keep trying, Marcus. Keep trying.
All he writes is, I love the Beach Boys. What the hell?
Oh, so she had MS. That's why she was in there.
Oh, that's
Was she going to be if she didn't have it? Was she written into it originally?
a good question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh wait, well we got some. I've never seen this. The behind the scenes photo of them on the land that planet.
They were in another show together.
This is Fantasy Island.
That's not her though.
She was
No.
in Fantasy
It
Island.
says this is her.
Is
yeah.
that her?
Sure.
That's her.
This is Fantasy Island. No, it isn't. It's got to
No,
be.
that's the
something else.
60s.
No, that's not Fantasy Island. That's
No.
Oh, they're on something where they're both Indian.
Oh, it's
Bonanza.
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 Yeah. You know what that means? that that they,
Might have had something going there. Is that what you're saying?
oh yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. There's Leonard Nimoy as an Indian right below. Look at that right there in the black and white photo. Yeah.
Look at Nimoy.
Yeah.
Oh, God. He was just too Spock, man. It's
I
just
know.
Yeah.
Spock.
Whenever you see him in anything, all you see is Spock.
Mm-hmm.
At
Well, he
least
was in them. He
look
had a
at
walk-on bit part in them.
chest there.
Hmm?
Look at Montalban's chest over to the left, right there. 'Cause I love how he has to have it open right, all the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like Galaxy Quest. Well, I see you managed to lose your shirt again.
And that hairstyle, that 80s. It's so funny because it was the 80s, and those hairstyles were just coming out. And it's like even in the future, it's supposed to be the future, and they couldn't think past the cultural trend of the day.
Well, Ron, you know what comes around goes around, right? So it's like maybe by the 23rd century, that hairstyle was back in from the 80s.
That's a good point.
And
Maybe he was like, I still have hair, so I might as well do something with
all
it.
the young boys now, like my son, their hair is curly and big, like almost like early 70s now.
Mm-hmm.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bell bottoms, the whole nine.
All right,
yards.
we're going to get into Wrath of Khan and Space Seed next week. I am sure of that. There's going to be crossover. So,
yeah.
everybody, a special thanks to Marcus Kellegru for taking care of the commies for us.
We just saw that picture of what's her name of MacGyver's, and I made that joke, and then you think about the title of the episode, Space Seed.
I'm going to continue on, and oh yeah, this Nimoy sings the. Have you ever seen this?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Oh, it's so bad.
My lord!
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Ricardo Montalban sing "Baby It's Cold Outside"?
I think I heard about it.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that I'd like to see.
Here, I'll put it in the private chat.
Didn't Kirk's son die of AIDS? Yes, he did. Yes, he did, Bill.
Well, his movie son, yeah, not his real son.
Because he got raped by a Klingon.
Not just any Klingon either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It
It was.
It actually wasn't him. It was one of his underlings.
What was Christopher
Ron
Lloyd?
is stating this like it's fact. Yeah, it wasn't actually the guy from Taxi. It was one of his underlings that.
Well, it wasn't.
Well, Christopher Lloyd plays, the professor in Back to the Future, right? And then he plays a Klingon whose ship is taken back to the past.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember? It's his ship that
Right.
Kirk and those guys steal, that Romulan ship that they go back to save the whales in.
That's right, because Kirk blows up the Enterprise and goes, "My God, Bones.
Yeah.
What have
What have I done?
We just look for any opportunity you can to imitate Shatner, don't we? Go ahead. I can see.
Are you going to sit on this couch?
Get off your knees.
I put it in the private chat too if you guys want to watch the whole thing. But
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm
That's
sick of
cool. That's
songs.
badass.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's
Oh.
cold outside.
I've got to go away.
Baby, it's cold outside.
This evening has
Look at her.
been
Hoping that you drop
so
in.
very nice.
Ooh,
That's
guys,
Mr. Williams.
They're just like
My
ice.
mother will start to worry.
Beautiful. What's your
My
hurry?
father will hasten to fall.
Listen to the
Is that where this
fireplace
song
So
is
roar.
from?
really, I'd better.
no, the original one, it's actually reversed. It's the woman trying to get the man to stay.
Oh, really? Didn't they
The
cancel
original?
this song a couple years ago?
They did cancel it, and
They tried.
Yeah.
People were like,
They
screw
say
well,
it.
you're not allowed to play it on the radio. But that was the whole controversy where it's like you can't play "Baby It's Cold Outside," but you can play "WAP."
Well,
Yeah, right.
what happened was, I know. But what happened was the reverse happened when they tried to cancel radio stations deliberately were playing it.
Good.
See, there is too much of the body going on around here. You're right. We need to. We need to destroy Landru. We need to do it quickly.
Landru.
Landru.
Andrew.
Lawn.
Oh, Shatner called him Landru, right? Didn't he?
If it would, like, it should be spelled Lawndrew, and it can be a guy who takes care of your lawns.
Here comes Landru.
Moebius. Maybe it's Moebius.
Yeah, Moebius Landru. What a name.
Moebius.
You still out there, Billy?
That's right. Billy.
That's right. Zoe Deschanel did sing it in Elf.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, she's got a
Elf.
beautiful
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
Lots of people I
Yeah.
feel like have sang it now.
Mhm. Should all be canceled.
All right, gang. We will see you next week for Space Seed. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you then. Have a good one. Bye-bye.